Hey guys, EC Network here, coming at you with another video. After the recent news about the new regular show series titled Lost Tapes, I started to think about Cartoon Network's future, Cartoon Network's trajectory, and what they're planning for the channel and why it's honestly rather disappointing. But first and foremost, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about regarding regular show Lost Tapes, if you've never heard of this series, I'll leave a card above to that video because we go into detail on what that show is all about. But nevertheless, when you look at Cartoon Network and all of the shows that have been greenlit for it and the shows that are coming in the not too distant future, or at least we would hope the not too distant future, because with Cartoon Network, who knows, when they announce a show it might not come for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. But anyways, nevertheless, when you look at the shows that are coming to Cartoon Network over the next, let's say, 3 to 4 years, out of what's been announced, we have regular show Lost Tapes, we have Adventure Time Side Quest, The Amazing World of Gumball Season 7, and Iyano Child of Wonder. Those are the shows being made in-house by Cartoon Network Studios, and also Go-Go Mystery Machine coming from Warner Brothers Animation. Out of the shows I just mentioned to you guys, more than half of them are serving as revivals or spin-off series of former series that Cartoon Network premiered in the early 2010s. We have The Amazing World of Gumball Season 7, which obviously is kind of serving as a revival to The Amazing World of Gumball, even though that show technically never ended. Obviously, we all know The Amazing World of Gumball's been in murky waters since the season 6 finale aired all the way back in 2019. We were getting the movie, we were getting The Amazing World of Gumball, the series, which was serving as a sequel series or spin-off to the show that would take place after the movie. Now all of that is not happening and we're just getting a season 7 instead. That's probably going to come out, 7 years after season 6 ended, but that's neither here nor there. Then we have Adventure Time Side Quest, a brand new Adventure Time series that's apparently going to show more one-and-off adventures with Finn and Jake taking place during the first 2 seasons of Adventure Time. So again, more early Adventure Time coming to Cartoon Network. Then last but not least, we have regular show Lost Tapes, which is the series we talked about last week in our video on this channel. And that's another series where we're going to be seeing more one-and-off adventures with Mordecai and Rigby taking place during the original regular show. So if you take a look at those 3 series, they're all just attempting to do the same thing that Cartoon Network accomplished, or they did in the early 2010s. Essentially, they're trying to capitalize on Gumball and make more of it. They're trying to capitalize on early Adventure Time and make more of it. They're trying to capitalize on early regular show and make more of it as well, instead of doing new ideas, not only within these worlds, but also just in general, new properties, new projects from new creators. But no, instead we're just getting Cartoon Network's 2010s again in the late 2020s, which is just rather strange to be seeing. Like, I get what they're trying to do. If you guys remember when Warner Brothers Discovery, that merger first happened, someone who worked at Cartoon Network, I don't know who it was because it's been a while, they posted on Twitter saying, hey, good luck if you want to get a new project picked up by Cartoon Network Studios, because if it's not based on a prior established property, you're probably not going to get a green light for it, because they only want to bring back the old nostalgic shows instead of making brand new shows that will be nostalgic in 10, 15 years from now. Why make new classics when you could just keep reiterating the old ones? But when that news came out, I was like, okay, that's not great, but maybe we'll see some revivals for a lot of old series. We got the announcement of the new Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, which obviously took the form of a preschool show in Foster's Fun Time for Imaginary Friends. We got the announcement of the new Powerpuff Girls, which made a video on that recently as well. Card above if you haven't seen it. That might not be happening anymore. It still hasn't gone into production. They're still working through ideas for that series. So really all we have to look at right now that's actually happening, that's concrete, is the 3 series that I mentioned before. Adventure Time Side Quest, regular show Lost Tapes, and The Amazing World of Gumball Season 7. Of course, there's also Iyano Child of Wonder, which is a new show, but again, it's not a new property. It's based on a comic book series. And of course, Go-Go Mystery Machine, which is another iteration of Scooby-Doo. So again, the new ideas are lacking, but that's not even the big problem here. The big problem to me is, for whatever reason, Cartoon Network just seems like they want to regurgitate and redo the 2010s again, but in the late 2020s. Why are we just focusing on these shows that were successful for you a decade ago? Why are we going back to regular show? Why are we going back to Adventure Time? Why are we going back to The Amazing World of Gumball? Look, I'm not saying those series shouldn't be revisited, because I think regular show deserves a new show. I think Adventure Time getting side quests is a fantastic idea. The Amazing World of Gumball needs to wrap up after the cliffhanger we got in season 6. All of these should be happening, although I would like regular show to be getting a sequel series or spin-off show or an epilogue series like a 25 years later instead of Lost Tapes, but that's neither here nor there. They just chose to go down a different direction with the new regular show that, in my opinion, is a bit too safe and a bit too lazy, but that's, again, that's the direction they decided to go down. My bigger issue is that it just seems like you're trying to do the big 4 again the 2010s, like the big four for Cartoon Network in the early 2010s was Adventure Time, Regular Show, Steven Universe, and The Amazing World of Gumball. And outside of Steven Universe, that's the only one missing here from this new slate of shows that's going to be coming over the next 3-4 years, maybe 2 years at the earliest. And that to me is such a huge problem, because it's like basically you saw Cartoon Network have this great success in the early 2010s, and even throughout the 2010s, as much as we want to, look back on the 2010s and complain about how the channel was a mess, they did still produce some pretty fantastic series. Outside of the four I just mentioned, we also did get a lot of action shows in the early 2010s. Symbionic Titan, Generator Rex, Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, Ben 10 Omniverse. We got shows like We Bare Bears, Clarence, OKKO, Let's Be Heroes. Like, there was quality to come out of Cartoon Network in the 2010s, despite all of the negativity that surrounds the channel during that era. So basically, you guys just want to redo all that and just have that be your, saving grace again, because a lot of people look at Adventure Time, Regular Show, The Amazing World of Gumball, and Steven Universe, those four series, as being the shows that kind of saved Cartoon Network, that carry them through the decade. And basically what they're doing right now is saying, oh, okay, you know what? If those shows saved us once, why can't they save us again? Let's bring them all back. And again, outside of Steven Universe, the other three are coming back. And look, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, with this current trajectory that we're on, I would not be surprised if we get an announcement over the next year or so saying that Steven Universe is also returning. In my opinion, I don't think that should happen. Steven Universe had its time in the spotlight. It was a fantastic series. It even got an epilogue show. It got a movie. In my opinion, the epilogue show, being Steven Universe Future, wasn't exactly great. I really didn't like that show. Let's just have Steven Universe rest. We don't need to revisit every single show from your 2010s. My other thing about this as well is, as I said before, somebody at Cartoon Network was saying that, yeah, if you don't have a show that's based on a prior property, you're not going to get it greenlit, because that's all they want to do right now is capitalize on nostalgia. That's not a great thing, as we've said before, because, new ideas need to be out there. New ideas need to be made, because that's how you progress the industry forward. That's how you make new content. Everyone's happy when new content's coming out, right? You have a new idea that's hitting the market, and also the creators are getting to explore and create the things they want to create. But the other problem I have with this as well, I've said this so many times before, but it seems like for some reason Cartoon Network likes to hyper fixate on the 2010s. When you look at the shows they air reruns of on the channel, outside of Checkered Past, they don't rerun any shows that aired prior to 2010. I don't know why this is. I've heard people speculate saying, oh, it's because those shows were in HD and they don't want to air SD shows on the channel. I don't think that's the case, but really we don't know why that is. We don't know why they focus on the 2010s and kind of just forget about everything that came prior to that. And even with these shows that are upcoming, they're doing this once again. Outside of the Powerpuff Girls revival sequel series, if that even ends up happening at this point, and Foster's Fun Time for Imaginary Friends, those are the only two series from the 2000s that Cartoon Network is deciding to revisit. The rest of the stuff from the 2000s, they're just not touching with a 10-foot pole, and I don't really understand why. I don't understand why they're hyper fixating on, let's bring back the 2010s instead of making new content and bringing back some shows that people are actually clamoring to see. I mean, hey, Cartoon Network, everybody's been saying for the past 5-6 years, for the entirety of the time I've been uploading on YouTube, that they want to see Teen Titans Season 6, but that hasn't happened yet. No one was saying we want to see more Adventure Time Season 1 and 2. No one was saying we want to see more early Regular Show. People were saying they want to see a Regular Show 25 years later. That's not happening. People were saying they want to see Galactic Kids Next Door. That's not happening. People are saying they want to see Infinity Train Books 5, 6, 7, and 8, but that's not happening. People want to see a Symbionic Titan Season 2, but that's also not happening. And lastly, people want to see the new Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy movie Destroy Us All, but that's not happening. So in essence, Cartoon Network is just saying, oh, we have these handful of shows that carried us through the 2010s. Why not bring all of them back? Because why can't they carry us for the next half decade or so? And again, that's not a great strategy to be having. I didn't even mention Ben 10 and how everyone's been clamoring for the next Ben 10, and that's not happening either, although I think that will happen at some point in the not too distant future. But nevertheless, it kind of just seems like Cartoon Network just wants to rinse and repeat their early 2010s and hope that it works again, because it worked 10 years ago. Why can't it work for us now? Anyways, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section below. What do you guys think about the fact that Cartoon Network's not only bringing back Adventure Time, they're bringing back Regular Show, they're bringing back The Amazing World of Gumball, instead of making new ideas and bringing back other series that people are actually clamoring for? If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.